touched just a little bit on the education component, so we want to talk about what role graduation from high school, from beyond, does play. Please welcome to the table the co-chairs of St. Louis Graduates. First, Allison Williams, you also work with the Wyman Center.
Yep. And
Alan Bird, also the Dean of Admissions at the University of Missouri St. Louis. I guess first, jump in just to make sure we're all on the same page. If you spend much time at the 9 Network, you know what St. Louis Graduates is, but not everyone does. How do you explain what you do?
Sure, we'd love to share. So St. Louis Graduates is a collaborative network of post-secondary access and success providers, K-12 educators, higher education philanthropists, and businesses who believe deeply that the need in St. Louis is to increase equity in education for our low-income and first-generation students. So we have been working together for the past 6 years on strategies to raise the level of degree attainment among these students in particular.
And what have you seen the challenges over those 6 years to attain this goal?
Well, I mean, there's various challenges, but I mean, our focus is really to remove some of the existing barriers, such as students not quite being academically prepared for college or not being able to afford a college education, or even having access to the required courses in high school to be prepared for a post-secondary education. So we've brought all the people together to our table in our steering committee to try to remove the barriers in St. Louis and really raise awareness in terms of what students need to be successful.
What do you see the impact of graduation having? What is it for young people, both high school, college, and this conversation we're talking about here?
Oh, it's incredibly significant, and
long-term trajectory changing.
Absolutely, absolutely. Casey, when you think about our region, in the next several years, we're going to about 60% of the jobs in our region are going to require some sort of post-secondary certificate or degree. Right now in the St. Louis area, only about 43% of our adults have those types of degrees, and there are deep disparities in our region. So when you break down our community, only 26% of the African American adults have those degrees. We know education is truly the economic equalizer. So there's an absolute moral and economic imperative to be addressing this in our region.
That's a big gap to make up, especially when you look at that one segment of the population. To that 60, getting to that 60% is a long way away.
Yes, but we definitely feel like that's where we have the most opportunity for growth in the low-income and disadvantaged communities. As of right now, I mean, even though St. Louis is at a 43% or Missouri's at a 43%, the African American community alone is only at 26%. And a lot of that, again, ties directly to educational opportunities at the K through 12 level. If we can improve educational opportunities to make sure more students are college ready and work ready, we can close that gap.
So what needs do they, what needs might they have that others might not?
Well, it starts with access to rigorous coursework in high school, qualified teachers, and really the expectations to pursue post-secondary education. Access to college counseling is critical to the piece. Many of our schools in high poverty districts have much larger caseloads, and they don't have staff dedicated solely to college placement. So those are things that we're trying to work together to make sure that every student has in their high school in order to take advantage of all the opportunities we have in our region.
We talked about it on this show before. There's the drop-in center over off of Del Mar Boulevard that you might be in college, you might be accepted, you may even have scholarships, and there's a certain possibility that that student won't show up in the fall because of the network they have around them. Is that, am I summing that up?
Absolutely. Our High School to College Center is an initiative that was one of the gaps that we saw here in St. Louis for the population that we serve. So we created the High School to College Center 3 years ago. And it's really an opportunity for us to reduce summer melt for at-risk students. Typically what happens, up to 40% of students who are accepted to college when they graduate from high school end up falling through the cracks before they matriculate the next fall. So we saw that as an opportunity to provide college counseling, financial aid advising, and to help students navigate the bureaucracy of college, the enrollment process late in the summer to prevent them from really falling through the cracks.
40% just lost over just the summer between high school and college.
And Casey, our statistics show so this is our third year of the center opening. It opens on Monday, so if folks go to the stlewisgraduates.org website, they'll be able to find out more details about it. But our statistics, when we followed young people who graduated from high school in May of 2014, who visited the center, 75% of those young people were actually enrolled in higher education in the fall. So from a 40% typical melt rate to a 25% melt rate for the young people that we were serving. It's an example of some very basic interventions that can be done collaboratively by the community that truly make a difference in terms of the success of young people.
And tell me again, if they want, if they're watching or if someone they know is watching, they can just literally drop in. What's the best way to get connected?
Absolutely, they can absolutely drop in. It opens at the beginning of June, runs all the way through the end of July, Monday through Saturday. There will be college counselors there available. There will be representatives from higher ed there available. There's a financial aid advisor from the Scholarship Foundation on site every single day. Those tend to be some of the most complex issues, and people are welcome. It's free. People are welcome to absolutely stop by and drop in.
Yeah, I can remember not even. It's complicated. Coming from a tiny little town and a tiny little school, I was confused by what do you mean 15 hours a week? There's a lot of mystery going from one world to another.
Absolutely.
So give them some free advice. What should they be? Not that it's not free when they show up there as well, but what could they be doing? What should they be doing over the summer?
Well, first and foremost, they want to make sure that their financial aid is in order, as in they have an award letter, they have their bill, they know their out-of-pocket expense. They also want to make sure that they are registered for their courses and they have their books and all the various things they need to start the semester strong.
What is the Lumina Foundation?
Sure. So this is really exciting for St. Louis and for our region. The Lumina Foundation is a national foundation that invests in degree attainment. It's a foundation that understands that the most opportunities for increasing degree attainment occur within cities, and so they have developed a network of communities now. And St. Louis is one of 75 communities really focused on specific plans to advance degree attainment in the area. So St. Louis Graduates, in partnership with the St. Louis Regional Chamber, came together at the invitation of Lumina last year and applied to be one of these communities. So together, the work that Alan and I spoke about of St. Louis Graduates has really come together with the business community in St. Louis now to band together in an even stronger way to elevate the community conversation and understanding around degree attainment, to focus specifically on policies for our lowest income students, to engage the business community and really develop that K-12 to higher education to workforce pipeline so that we're preparing young people for the jobs that will be here in our community. It's some really exciting work.
We've thrown out a lot of acronyms and organizations just in one show. There are a lot of people passionate and involved on this issue. I guess it takes a lot of different people coming from different areas of expertise. Are we working together as well as we should be?
Well, I think that's our goal. I mean, St. Louis Graduates, our goal is to bring everyone to the table and to really align our efforts so we don't duplicate resources and really take advantage of our limited resources to maximize the opportunities in our region. But it definitely takes a collaboration. I mean, things won't work if we don't get everyone at the table.
Do you hear feedback from the employer side on what they would like to see or what they're not getting from our young people, if they would like to hire local, if they'd like to build and expand the plant sciences out in Creve Coeur or the biosciences in Cortex?
Yeah, it's interesting because I think what you hear from employers are, one, those very technical skill areas that they'll need, and how can we ensure that we are raising young people here in this community who want to stay in this community and have those skills. But you also hear our employers talk a lot around those other skill sets, that how you collaborate with people, how you communicate effectively, your professional demeanor within the workplace setting, a lot of the pieces that are more on the social emotional development side of things. So I think we'd say it's really important. We can't have one without the other. We really need to make sure we're supporting young people's development really down both of those parallel paths.
And I believe our partnership with the St. Louis Regional Chamber has definitely brought that into the conversation, because now, in terms of aligning aligning the things we're doing in higher education to what the employers will prefer out of college graduates, because that's a big piece, and we need to make sure that we create those same opportunities like St. Louis Youth Jobs for college students so they can develop those soft skills and really get meaningful work experience before they graduate from college.
we're talking about employment. Are there jobs for the students once they've made it through college? They've taken advantage of what you guys are doing. They've made it. They've got the diploma. They've walked across the stage at a 4-year university, and somebody wants 3 years of experience for an entry-level job. Do you hear that from kids, from young people?
Yes, but I mean, in terms of the job market, like the economist mentioned earlier, I mean, St. Louis is in pretty good position right now. I mean, a couple years ago, we saw many of our undergraduates coming right back to graduate school because the prospects just weren't there. But as our graduation that we had just a couple weeks ago, I mean, most of our students were employed before they walked across the stage. So it depends on the sector, it depends on what that degree is in. But the market is fairly strong right now for college graduates. And from what we hear from employers, we need even more college graduates to meet their workforce needs.
How have things changed since you got that college degree?
Oh, big time, big time. I mean, that's the one thing about
a lot can change in 2 years.
Yes, yes. Well, thank you for that. But honestly, it really does put you in a position where it increases your employment opportunities, your earning potential, and it puts you in a position to have control over your career path. Without the degree, I mean, as we spoke earlier, your options are very limited, and you don't have the flexibility to really do different things in the job market without that credential.
Thank you both for being here. Don't go too far. We'd like to break.